This video is entitled Bid List, Print Estimates, Supplier Exchange. The Supplier Exchange button will display the Trade Service Supplier Exchange interface and give you the ability to request a quote for the material contained in your estimate from your selected distributors. When the Supplier Exchange quotation request form is displayed, verify that the information is correct and the current estimate and click the Request a Quote button. The program will display the Supplier Exchange quotation request form, which contains a group of 4 buttons. The first button will confirm your user credentials. When you come in here, if the fields are blank, it means that you have not set up the Supplier Exchange information in the WinTRF estimating system under General Preferences. If it's blank, go ahead and review the video called General Preferences to see how to set up Supplier Exchange information in the WinTRF program. If the field contains your username and password, click the OK button. And then when that form is closed, you can click the Distributor button to go ahead and select your distributor. The Distributor module contains 2 tabs, the My Distributors and Find Nearby Distributors. If you have not gotten any distributors approved yet, use the Find Nearby Distributors to find a distributor near your office. To do so, just enter your zip code in the zip field and tell it a range of miles that you want to search. I'm searching 50 miles around zip code 33306, and I click Search, and a request is made, and I get a list of Supplier Exchange compatible suppliers from that zip code. You can see that they're all over the, from Doral, North Miami, Pompano Beach, West Palm Beach, Belgrade, a lot of different locations around zip code 33306. So I would select the distributor that I want to use, and I would click Request Selected Distributor, and you'll get some information back, possibly in a period of 48 to 96 hours, telling you you've been approved, and they will be added to your My Distributor list. Since I don't have any distributors, I'm going to use the average market price to demonstrate the rest of the program. I select the average market price and I click Close, and then I go to my quote lists, and the quote list contains a list of all the UPC numbers that were contained in the estimate that I submitted. Now I can just submit this list, or I can submit the list and allow alternates. If this is the first or second time that you're using the program, it's a good idea to use alternates so that you can get some idea about some different UPC numbers that you may want to use in your parts file that would be better priced than the ones you are currently using. Once I've done all of this, I click Get Prices. Program goes out to the internet, goes to my supplier, requests the information, and eventually will populate the screen. Sometimes it takes longer on slower internet connections, sometimes it's faster. And if you don't allow alternates and you have a relatively small job, it'll be very quick. But since I've selected allow alternates, it's probably bringing back a ton of items that it wants. Finally, it populates the screen, and that's my cue to be able to go on to the next step. I'm going to click the Export button. The Export button performs a lot of different functions, one of which is it displays in a web page the information that I sent out and gives me information in terms of vendor buyer codes, quantities, etc., stuff that really doesn't tell me a lot in comparison to my estimate. But it does give me some information and let me review what I've submitted and what was returned to me. I close the web page, then I close the items form, then I close the WinTRF Supplier Exchange interface, and then now I have a list of items in a spreadsheet format so that I can review them and do something with them. I'm going to go ahead and print them. Now the Supplier Exchange reports are all stored in a folder underneath Cert-In EST bin in a folder called SX Report. If you get lost and the program doesn't find them, this is how you can find them. If you go to wherever the Cert-In folder is, look in the EST bin folder for a folder called SX Report, and once you've got that, you'll be able to see the various reports that we have. I like using report number 3, and for this demonstration, that's what I'm going to use. I click open. Now the Supplier Exchange report is shown to me. The items that are white in all of these locations are what I submitted. What the items that are gray are the alternates that were returned back to me. And why is it important to get alternates? Well, the alternates gives me different prices for different components. Most of these items are $14.51 a thousand, but there are some items that are $18.71, $18.87 a thousand, and yet they're all the same components. So let's go down and look at one. I'm not going to use the commodity items here. Let's use the half-inch die-cast set screw AMT connectors. The quoted price back to me for this, the set screw connector up here, the one that I have a price on, that I was actually had a takeoff price. I have $15.96 a hundred that I used in my estimate. My return price was $15.96, so it looks like my updating is working correctly. That makes me feel a little bit better. But if you notice, there's an item down here from M&W Electric that's $9.57 a hundred. Now, if I wanted to get my estimating system tuned up so that I always got the best prices when I requested my quotations, every supply house distributor uses different UPC numbers for different components. They buy from different manufacturers, so it's possible that the UPC numbers that you have in your estimating system are not the same as the best prices that your supply house is getting. So what you want to do is you want to tune your system up so that you match the best prices that your supply house or your major supply house can provide to you. And the way to do that is, there's the UPC number that's in your parts file. Here's the UPC number for the M&W Electric item. So if I went into my parts file and used this UPC number on that part, or just replace this UPC number onto this item right here, that next time I got a quotation, I would get the $9.57 per hundred price, and every time I got updated from Trade Service on their electronic updates, that's the update price that would be put into my database. That's the that price that would be used in all my assemblies and all my future estimates. So that's the importance of being able to go out and look at an estimate. If you didn't have the quotes, you could go through here and decide whether how good your estimate was in terms of the prices that you return. Bear in mind, my prices are all based on the average market price, so this may not be representative of what you could get if you used your supply house. This concludes the Print Estimates Supplier Exchange video.